The Embassy of the United States of America held a public discussion in New Amsterdam yesterday. More details in this report. Members of the public were given the opportunity yesterday to interact with officials and consular officers attached to the Embassy of the United States of America, which is stationed at Duke and Yonge Streets, Kingston, Georgetown. The public discussions on U.S. visa information and American citizen services were held at the All Saints Presbyterian Developmental Center on Princess Elizabeth Road, New Amsterdam. Regional Chairman Region 6, Mr. David Armagan, attended the discussion and gave brief opening remarks prior to the commencement of the session.
This afternoon, I think we have a good session. I know many of you have come here because you have an interest in whatever is happening in the United States, but also because perhaps many of you, if you have already not visited the United States, you would want to know what are the procedures to be followed and how is it that you can be able to obtain a visitor's visa to the United States for you to be able to get to your relatives and friends abroad. I noticed over the last few years the United States Embassy has been open to more visas. They have been issuing more visas to the people of Guyana, perhaps because our people have now been coming back after their holidays in the United States. So once again, permit me to welcome all of you.
Consular officer attached to the U.S. Embassy, Ms. Amanda Peskin, opened yesterday's session by relating basic information to the audience.
So I'd like to talk very briefly about the different types of visas and the processes of applying for them. First, I'm going to start with immigrant visas. So immigrant visas are visas for people who are immigrating to the U.S. to live there permanently. And immigrant visas must begin with a family member in the U.S. who starts an application, or what is called a petition, in the U.S. So that person, that family member, has to file a petition with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, and that has to happen in the U.S. U.S. citizens can file petitions for their spouses, for children under 21, and for their parents. They can also, in a different category, file petitions for unmarried sons and daughters, which means sons and daughters over age 21 that are not yet married. Married sons and daughters, which means over age 21, and siblings of U.S. citizens. If more people in the world start applications in those visa categories than are actually available, there becomes a backlog and a wait time. Let's see, I'll choose unmarried sons and daughters of a U.S. citizen. If a U.S. citizen has started that petition, that's the F1 category, right now there is about a 7-year wait time for those visas because so many people have filed those petitions in the world. That's how long the backlog is. Some other categories are not as bad. Spouses and children of lawful permanent residents, there's about a 2-year wait time for those visas from start to finish. The longest wait time is for siblings of U.S. citizens. There's actually, it looks like a 13-year wait time right now for someone who has started a petition for their sibling. The sibling visa, the immigrant visa, yes, the F4 category is numerically limited worldwide. And in Guyana right now, I can give you the exact date. So F4 petitions that were filed before January 8th, 2005 are current, which means all applications in the F4 category up until January 2005 are being interviewed right now.
Ms. Peskin then proceeded to answer questions that were posed by members of the audience.
The question is, if you have been denied a visa in the past a few times, can you apply again? You can apply again. What we usually tell people if they are refused a visa is that each and every time you apply, you have to prove your qualifications for that visa. And when we say qualifications, what we will often ask about is your ties to your home country, which could mean social, economic, family, educational ties, your involvement in your community. And the point of that is because To be qualified for a non-immigrant visa, you have to satisfy to the consular officer that you do not have immigrant intent and that you will use the visa that you are applying for correctly. Once you have a visa, you are free to travel on that visa whenever you want. You do not have to initiate the visa or start traveling on it at any particular time. Do U.S. military personnel get special privileges if they are sponsoring a family member outside of the U.S.? Not that I know of. As far as I know, it's the same exact process and the same exact processing time. Chairman Armagon's question was, if someone applies or is the applicant on an immigrant visa petition, so say your son in the U.S. has petitioned for you, you're the parent, you're Guyanese, you're in Guyana, and you just want to apply for a non-immigrant visa in the meantime, does applying for an immigrant visa preclude you from applying for a non-immigrant visa? The answer is no, it does not. It does not preclude you. You are still welcome to apply for a non-immigrant visa, but the same rules apply to that non-immigrant visa application and interview. You will still have to prove to the consular officer that you do not have immigrant intent. So MP Gill's question was about fiancé visas, which are known as K-1 visas. So that is a class of visa. It sort of sits right in between non-immigrant and immigrant visas. And in a fiancé visa, typically a U.S. citizen will get engaged to a non-citizen and then petition for them to move to the U.S. so the fiancé can get married. The fiancé and the U.S. citizen are supposed to get married within 90 days of the fiancé arriving in the U.S.
The U.S. Embassy is encouraging persons to visit their websites, gy.usembassy.gov and travel.state.gov, or for general visa inquiries, email visageorge@state.gov. Telephone inquiries on visa information can also be made by dialing 225-8732 or 1-877-246-6788. And for American Citizen Services, 225-4900. Embassy hours are 7 hours to 19 hours on weekdays for U.S. visa information and 7 hours 30 to 16 hours on weekdays for American Citizen Services. Sasha Ramzan reporting for Channel 8 News.